morning, good afternoon, and good evening, gentle listeners, at whatever time you are listening to the Colossal Tussle podcast. And before we get started with our episode today, I have some shows to present to you. Some lovely evenings out with the familia. Getting Spanish up in this piece. Starting first with C4 Wrestling presenting Friday the 13th. Ooh, Mr. Spooks. It is happening May the 13th in St. Anthony's Hall in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. The doors will open at 6:30. The show itself starts at 7:30. And indeed, tickets are available. Head over to c4wrestling.com for details. Also on the docket is Pro Wrestling Ontario presenting Maximum Damage. That is Saturday, May the 28th, and that is going to be at Upper Wellington Street, 1016. It's the Greenhouse. And yes, indeed, tickets are available. You know it. You know it to be true. ProWrestlingOntario.ca. Head over there and get your tickets now. Gonna have some great shows as we support Canadian independent wrestling. And without further ado, on with the show. The Colossal Tussle Podcast, episode number 9, and we couldn't be finer. Ooh, Colossal Tussle Pod, episode 9. It is I coming to you live from the largest toga party in the universe. Yes, from the land of the rising sun of Sentinel and Shepherd, it is I, KJ Johnson, and to my right, oh yes, he is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He is the Native American Tatanka impersonator himself. It is
just John.
Yes, sir. How's it going?
I'm good, buddy. How are you? How's life?
It is life.
I like it.
Life.
I like it.
You know, everything is as it is. Everything was what it was.
I love it. I love it.
We've entered yet another week of wrestling podcasting.
Yep.
Episode number 9. We're getting to double-digit numbers soon.
Yep. We missed one, but you know, it wasn't because we were out just being lazy. We have not let the fame get to our heads.
No,
we were at a good old-fashioned wrestling show.
Yeah,
we were watching some wrestling.
Yeah, no cracking of champagne here. No celebratory. We did it, fam.
We are still humble as they come.
And speaking of humble, we went to Humbleton, a.k.a. Hamilton. We went to Hamilton for our wrestling show, didn't we?
We were outside for like 12 hours.
Yes. It is.
That's how committed we are.
Yes.
To this wrestling shit.
The longest travel collectively that I think we've ever been on in the great province of Ontario.
Yeah.
Yes, and we went to the Pro Wrestling Ontario Redemption. Yeah, and how that first and foremost, okay, like how did you enjoy because this was your first ever indie wrestling experience?
Yes, this is my first like real because like we've only been to, you know, not to brag, but we've only been to WWE shows. Yeah. So this is my first time in a small warehouse.
Yes. A warehouse indeed. A makeshift garage, I believe. is what it once was.
Just to paint the picture, you know, when our Uber driver got there, he was concerned for our safety.
He was like, "Are you sure you want to get off here?"
He just saw a bunch of punk rockers and, you know, empty garage, and he was like, "Are you guys sure this is the place?"
Yes, but indeed it was the place.
Yes.
And so how did you enjoy the show?
Loved the entire show.
Yeah.
There were some down moments, but overall, great show.
Indeed. Yes, we had John Greed and Tarek. That was who we went to go and see, really.
And they did not disappoint.
Yeah.
Classic fucking match.
Exactly.
When it does go up on YouTube. I really recommend that everyone go out and watch that match for sure.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Great match, hot opener as
Mhm.
well. Then we had kind of good match after good match, and then the highlight of the show itself was a trios ladder match.
Yes.
9 human beings and a couple of Home Depot ladders.
Yes. And the very unstable ring.
That's right. And it sounds like a train wreck. It does. It sounds like an absolute train wreck. And I think with lesser professionals, it would have been.
Listen, when they made that announcement, we both looked at each other like someone's gonna get badly hurt.
Badly hurt.
Just seeing them put the titles up on
on
like the
chain
on the chains. I was like, this is not gonna end great.
Mhm.
But fuck, they did an amazing job. That was highlight of the night.
Yes.
Everyone was going crazy for this match.
I got up out of my seat.
Yeah.
There was a moment, unfortunately, I need to dig in and I need to continue to learn the people's names because I've learned the names and then I immediately forget the names. I've had a moment to sit and percolate with the show for about a week or so, and I've lost a lot of names.
I think I remember like 4 people, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
However, and one of them is my brother.
Yeah.
But one of the men did a spectacular fall through 4 sets of tables face first.
I'm not sure that was the plan, but
no.
Yeah.
But it was a spectacular fall. Thankfully,
Took it like a
he
champ.
seemed okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He took it like a champ.
Yes. So that was great. That was a highlight for me. There was a lot of good highlights. The main event was pretty good. Alessandro Del Bruno, the first time that you've ever met that man in the human flesh. Yes. And as you said, he didn't do too bad.
Because basically a little bit of backstory, the whole time that we were basically preparing to go to this pay-per-view, out of all the performers I saw, I'm like, this is just a regular, he can't be a professional wrestler. Apparently I was wrong because he was great. Him and Justin Sane.
Yes.
Justin Shane.
Sane.
Justin Sane.
Sane, yes. He's not crazy.
Oh no.
He's just insane.
So him and Justin Sane put on a really, really good match.
It was a
really great heel
main
work
event.
from Del Bruno.
Yes. It was a great main event to cap off what was surprisingly good show, but that's not to knock the professionals. I've never seen most of these people before.
Exactly.
So my expectations were not high just because I didn't know most of the people.
Yeah, and again, it's an indie show, so you're not expecting, or at least I wasn't, because like out of all the indie shows I've seen like highlights of on YouTube and stuff, it always looks like it's gonna be a train wreck.
Yes.
So I was very surprised at like the level that all these guys were at.
Yes, fantastic performers. Definitely. It's going to go up on their YouTube channel, Pro Wrestling Ontario. So keep a lookout for them and do honestly go and check out their page. They already have good stuff on there.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for them to upload it because I still want to rewatch the John Green match. I want to rewatch the triple threat ladder match. There's a couple matches in that show that I want to go back and rewatch. And
that is high praise indeed.
Yeah.
And they have a show next month, Maximum Damage, which we promoted earlier. And I have a feeling we're going to be there.
Let's see.
And we might just be in the front row after our 12-hour journey. But until then, John, we've got some news, pal.
Yep.
What is it that you want to talk about? What is the main talking point that we want to discuss to open up our news?
Well, there's 2 ways we can go with this. We can either talk the AEW Owen Hart tournament, or do you want to talk about the 2 matches on WrestleMania Backlash?
Let's talk about the 2 matches on WrestleMania Backlash. Let's really get into the meat and potatoes.
Because for those of you who don't know, we're recording this on a Saturday, and apparently Backlash is tomorrow.
That's a great endorsement of how well they've put this show together.
There's so many matches that the fans are just Can't wait to see.
Tons of matches. I'm gonna try and look it up now as we discuss, because we know what the main event is.
They
what
changed
it should be.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be the tag team unification match between RK Bro and the Usos.
Indeed.
For some reason, last minute they changed it, and now it's a triple threat, 3-on-3 tag match with the Bloodline versus Drew McIntyre and RK Bro, which is kind of weird because Drew just doesn't fit into.
It does seem out of nowhere. It seems like an odd inclusion. I know that. I mean, Drew is probably the closest or next in line that could possibly be credible at going for the title. After WrestleMania, so I think that's what's happening. But it's like a feud that's only been promoted locally because they've only done it on house shows and not on TV. It's like they've only managed to promote it on like the West Coast, you know? Like California knows a lot about this feud, while Nebraska doesn't, kind of thing.
Because like the way they're promoting it, it's almost like blood feud levels of like intensity, and I think like the last couple SmackDowns they maybe interacted here and there, but not enough to, you know, switch a whole match just for them to. So
especially a match to make it significantly less interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of people thought that it was gonna be like all the titles on the line, like winning group wins all, but it's none of that. It's just a regular, you know, 3-man tag.
Just a regular old match. We also have Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, I Quit match. They're so nice, they're doing it twice.
Listen, I've said this like 100 times. I've even said this on Twitter. These two have the worst chemistry I've ever seen two performers have. So there's no doubt in my mind that this is probably going to be a terrible match.
Probably. I mean, does the I Quit stipulation help for you?
No.
Are you a fan of the I Quit match, like the stipulation itself?
When done right, yeah, but we haven't seen a proper I Quit match in a minute. Like this.
Well, the storyline that we're following, we're gonna see quite the I Quit match.
Because like the way they're building this up, it doesn't even, because like an I Quit match is in the same vein to me as like a Hell in a Cell match, where it's like when we get to this point, it's because nothing else works.
Yes.
But the way they're promoting it just feels like a regular submission match.
I like 100%. I agree with that.
Like everything they've done, it's like just make this a submission match. You don't have to make it an I Quit match, but.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, I 100% agree. I think the I Quit match is it's their glorified way of saying that it's a submission match.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it would have been cool to do like an ultimate submission match. Like go back to your Kurt Angles and your Chris Benoit days. That 30-minute match, but it's submissions. I think that would at least be a bit cooler, maybe a bit more technical based. But
even like with the whole, there's always like interference or some shenanigans happening. Like you could have even done an Iron Woman match or something like that. But I just feel like the I Quit, I don't think is going to work for the way they're promoting the match.
Certainly not. We've got so nice they're doing it twice. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins going to be duking it out once again.
Yeah, that's going to be but these
another top quality match, I'm sure. Edge and AJ Styles with the Priest being banned from ringside apparently. Main question here is, do you think that there's going to be another addition to the growing Edge stable?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like again, this match has potential to be really, really great, but I feel like whoever the next person is that they're gonna introduce to this group is probably gonna come out, the whole light dimming, and for some reason AJ is gonna be like, "Why is it dark?" and then he's gonna lose. But yeah, I heard rumors that Rhea Ripley's gonna be involved in the staple. I don't think she's gonna be the one coming out at Backlash, but I see his group getting you know, to the proper Brood style where it's like 5 or 6 of them. So it's gonna be interesting to see who they pick for that.
Yes. What about Finn Balor? Finn Balor was just introduced into the storyline this past week in order to help aid
his Bullet
AJ
Club friend AJ Styles.
And I mean, his whole story seems to be that he is converting the losers into winners. How do you feel about a Finn Balor who is notorious for being a losing piece of shit?
He would fit in the group because to me, he's better when he's a heel. Babyface Finn Balor just has never caught my attention. Like,
I think that's on purpose.
Like, he's just never been like that type of guy. So him, plus he has the whole demon thing going on. You know, so I think he'll fit in perfectly with that group. So that'll be nice. I know it'll be like a good little swerve because everyone's expecting some AJ Styles Bullet Club thing happening.
Yeah, and they never want to give it to you.
They no, hell fucking no.
So nice they're doing it twice.
I thought Backlash was supposed to start the new feuds. I thought WrestleMania ended them.
Apparently not, as Bobby Lashley and almost fixing to hook it up again in the match that you went to make food for. With the new caveat of MVP being on the side of the Giant Omos.
I don't care about this match. I love MVP. I love Bobby Lashley. I hate this match. And I just hope this is the end of that feud and everyone just goes their own separate ways. Which I doubt it. There's probably going to be like 5 more of these fucking matches.
A lot of Raw rematches, I'm sure. Yes, and well, if you're not interested in that, Vince McMahon does have something for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss.
What is this pay-per-view? Is this a house show?
That one's not tickling your fancy, is it?
The only reason I'm happy that match is happening is so that they can just stop with the whole Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss thing.
Oh, you think
I
so?
would have liked that fucking gimmick if they actually gave Madcap Moss some funny ass jokes. I would have been all aboard, but then they just give him like corny like dad jokes that maybe I can pull off.
Maybe that's a strong maybe. So that, I mean, I am not looking forward to that show at all. Not at all.
Like, again, I just want to, because even the main event is kind of predictable. We kind of know what's going to happen. The only match on that whole show that kind of intrigues me is like the AJ style Edge thing. Yeah. Because like what's gonna happen there? Yeah. But is it worth watching this whole show? I doubt it.
No, I doubt it, sir. It's gonna be a skippable one, folks. Gonna be a skippable.
Now watch like the little highlights on Twitter.
The highlights.
I'll watch the highlights on Twitter.
And come back here next week for the review.
I got you guys. I'm gonna be.
We'll tell you everything you needed to know. So then, we have the AEW Owen Hart tournament. Yes. Okay, you have been following along with this. Yes. I have not.
That's fair because the whole. Well, no one knows what the winner gets. I think it's just like an Owen Hart trophy or something. But this whole tournament kind of happened. Like they announced it like last year, but then it just kind of started with no
fanfare.
Yeah, like I just like tuned into AEW one day and they're like, this is a qualifying match, and I'm like, when do we start this fucking tournament? And then like right when you're kind of like interested, like, okay, I all right, this tournament, is pretty significant because these guys are putting these great matches in. Yes. And then just like that, they end and they announce the brackets, and it's only like like 5-6 people in the bracket. So I'm like, oh, I thought this was gonna be like a full-on New Japan style of tournaments. I'm not sure if they're just doing this to kind of introduce the Western audience to like this type of thing. Maybe. But it started kind of really fucking random. But the brackets are out.
Yes.
We got the women's bracket, and it's Riho versus Ruby Soho, Red Velvet versus Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, Dr. Britt Baker versus a Joker.
Yeah. Who do you think this Joker might be? There's a lot of women out there right now that have been thrown to the wayside.
That's the thing with AEW. Like, they signed so many people that it could literally be anybody.
Yeah.
And with the ROH thing, it could be any girl from ROH. So
Could be.
the possibilities are fucking endless. So I'm not gonna stress about that.
Fair.
But overall, like that, for the women's bracket at least, it's like AEW has a women's division problem. And you can tell in that bracket, because I'm not hyped for any of these matches.
Yeah, no.
Like, none at all.
Because my thing is, are they going to be given any time? And if they are given time, what is the substance? What is the stakes?
Yeah.
I need more than just women or just competitors in general fighting.
Because that's the thing with AEW. They do these women matches, and they're just like, they're two great competitors. And it's like, yeah, we know they're in AEW. Like, give us a storyline behind it.
Yeah.
So, and they tried with Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm, but all they've been making them do is stand backstage and just be like, hey, I don't like you. And be like, hey, I don't like you. And it's like, that's not the story.
Fair enough.
So, this whole tournament's happening, and there's like, on the women's side at least, there's just, okay, the competitors are great, but there's just nothing else there.
Right. Yeah. What about the men's side? We got Ray Phoenix and Kyle O'Reilly. We have Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin. We've got Adam Cole, baby, and Dax Harwood. And then finally, we have Samoa Joe and the ever-incomparable Joker card.
See, this one, again, I still feel like the tournament's still too small, but this one at least has some meat and potatoes behind it. You have Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin, which is like the dream matchup everyone's been fucking dying to see. So we finally get that. Yeah. Adam Cole versus Dax. Dax, I think, is gonna play like this like dark horse underdog the whole tournament, maybe even beating Adam Cole and moving on. So that's interesting. Ray Phoenix coming back from that terrible fucking injury to face Kyle O'Reilly. Like, that match is gonna be fucking insane. And then Samoa Joe versus
a
Joker that could be,
anybody again.
We have Cesaro out there. We have so many fucking amazing talents out there for the men's side. And that's not disrespecting the women. There's a lot of amazing women that are free agents, but Samoa Joe has so much history with a lot of these free agents. So whoever they pick is gonna be a fucking banger of a match.
I would have to agree. Yes, the men's side is a bit more compelling. A lot of matches that I'm expecting very good things for. Same thing though. I just need stakes. I need to know what it is that they're fighting for. The Owen Hart Foundation, and everything about Owen Hart, fantastic. Is a lovely thing, and it's nice to have Owen Hart be in the mentions of professional wrestling again, because it's been an absolute travesty that he's gone this long without being, half mentioned in WWE. But that's for obvious reasons. So it's nice that he's getting a look in here, but, what about after that is all I'm saying.
Because I know for New Japan, at least, like, the winner of all these tournaments gets a title shot with, whoever the main champion is. So hopefully it's something like that for this as well. But yeah, they gotta announce it soon before people just tune this whole fucking tournament out.
Certainly.
Because even like when I was looking for the match card for the next Dynamite, they have like, and again, Dynamite. This is the issue with Dynamite, that they have way too many things they want to pull off in 2 hours. The card for next week is like 5 matches. 3 of them are for the Owen Hart tournament, and then they have also 2 segments that they're doing. So it's like, how the fuck are you guys gonna pull this off? Like, so it's like, you know, and out of all these things, we all know what match is probably gonna get cut short, which is the women's match. So it's probably gonna be, you know, a quick 5-minute thing. So yeah, they gotta fix. They just gotta fix that. Timing problem.
I think they've got too many pots spinning. It's kind of weird because with over on WWE side, like I tuned in to an episode of, I think, Raw.
You brave man.
Yeah, I think it was Raw. And the thing is that they have so little pot spinning, right? Where like there are just moments of just empty nothingness happening, right?
Well, look at the live event we went to where R-Truth just was like, okay, I'm just gonna come back out again.
Twice, like they've got so little spinning and going on that it's a drag to get through.
Yeah.
And then you walk over to AEW, you're like, yes, they have the best wrestling in the world. I truly believe, and I will put my flag on that hill. However, they have so many storylines and plot spinnings and B things and side angles and this thing and trying to. I think they're listening to their fans almost a bit too much with their detriments, because every time there's a possible nitpick, they're like, "We gotta fix the nitpick." That is
all
like,
that Adderall hits his fucking brain.
Yeah, it's like fucking hell, guys. Like, okay, have your A show, have your B show then, or something.
Because the beauty about WWE is that there's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter who you are or what promotion you came from or what championship you got. If WWE says you're a jobber, you're a fucking jobber.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah.
In AEW, they're like, if you're good, they want to push you to what you're, you know, what you're capable of. But the thing is, everyone on the roster is capable of being the top guy. So now
they need spots to slot these people in. And it's making it for a, I don't want to say a difficult watch or a bad watch, because that's not, but it's making for a jarring watch. It's difficult to explain.
Because the first hour is usually pretty good.
Yeah, there's moments of brilliance.
Yeah, the first hour of AEW is pretty good, but then when they realize they only have like an hour left and 1,000 things to do, you just see it pick up, and you're just like, what the fuck is going? Like, you'll go to the washroom and miss like 30 matches. Like, it's like it's insane.
That's where the misses start coming into place, is when you're trying to throw everything at the wall. And WWE, I have to give credit to, even though they have so little pot spinning, the pots that they have spinning, for the most part, are hitting. AJ Styles and Edge is intriguing.
The bloodline.
I mean, the bloodline, very intriguing, very good. RK Bro is hitting it out of the park most times. There's quite a few things. Even the Austin Theory stuff is getting like good storytelling, good time and commitment. Like, they have pieces, same as AEW does, but I think too many pieces, too many pots spinning.
Because at least, you know, WWE, they make sure if Roman's the champ, you know, he's the top guy. He's the guy. If Edge and Styles are doing their thing in the mid card, they're the guys of that time frame, basically. But with AEW, it's like from start to finish, they want everyone to be, you know, just hitting it out the park, and it's like, you know, it's exhausting to watch. That's the word.
Yes, and it's also difficult to tell who their top star is. Who is their top star?
Exactly.
Because it's certainly not their champion.
If you listen to the crowd, it probably is not. It
certainly isn't their champion. Is it CM Punk? Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, maybe. But, you know, you also have Moxley and Bryan, and now, who's the third guy with him? Oh, my God, I keep forgetting his name all the time.
Bryan.
And...
Yuta,
yes, Wheeler. Jesus Christ. You have them that are putting on the best performances of their lives with
Yeah.
Regal. So are they top of the card? Are they main event? Is fucking MJF and Wardlow? Are they main event? Are they upper
Yeah.
mid? Are they mid? What are they?
And then you have a whole bunch of guys in the back that, like, the second their name gets mentioned, everyone's like, "Oh, he should have the title. He should have the title." And it's like, we can't play hot potato with the main
Certainly
championship.
not. Yeah, certainly not. But I mean, and going back to the men's bracket, you know, just here, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, people that didn't get in, like a Keith Lee, a Lance Archer, a thing, like Miro is on the shelf, Omega's on the shelf.
That's the thing too.
Where do
with
these
all
people slot?
With all this talent on your fucking roster, it's so hard to book a show because whatever you do, people are gonna be like, "Well, what about this guy?"
Yeah.
You know, you do a tournament that's only like 8 slots, you know, and you have like 1,000 people on your roster. Of course, people are going to be like, where's Keith? Where's Shane? Where's Miro? Where's Lance? Where's, you know, Brian Cage? You know, there's so many fucking people.
Yeah. And do you listen to the fans and try to push them all? That's a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea.
But
you're going to have the longest tournament in
the history of the world. Yeah. But, that's just 2 humble men's opinions. But,
we could be wrong.
We could be wrong.
We could be wrong.
But one thing we're not wrong about is pay-per-view reviews. And, baby, we've got a pay-per-view to review. It is Capital Carnage from the London Arena. Guess where it is, John?
London,
England, indeed, my good sir. Yes, December the 6th, 1998 is when this came. Yes, 10,441 folks packing us in. This is available on Sky Box Office. It is a UK only pay-per-view service. Couldn't get the buy rate on that one. Had no idea where the buy rate was. I'm assuming that it's either 3, you know, like it was either free on TV or something like that, or you had to have a subscription to Sky Box Office.
Yeah, I think that's how most of those UK shows work. I don't think you could have just bought it, could you?
I don't know. I obviously not, I guess. Yes, but these UK only pay-per-view shows, have you ever watched one of the UK only pay-per-view shows before?
No.
So no insurrections, no rebellions, no one night only.
No, I don't think I have. No.
God,
I don't think I have.
You are a brand new baby boy in all of this. Okay. UK only show. It opens up with a good video package here about hyping up the Fatal 4-Way, which is the first time ever.
This is a very Attitude Era
opening. Absolutely.
Like, I was watching that, I'm like, I need a beer to actually enjoy this.
Yes, because it opens up, it's hyping up the 4-way. Undertaker has hit Steve Austin with a shovel on Raw.
And they kept doing that weird voice effect too, where it's like, Undertaker hit him, Undertaker hit him. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Got Boss Man as the brand new hardcore champion, screwing Mankind out of the gold.
Yep.
We've got Kane being a monster, just generally speaking. And then we have Austin and Kane kidnapping Paul Bearer and tossing him down a fucking sewer. Yep.
Attitude Era, baby.
Attitude Era. Yes. The London crowd is electric as we open up tonight.
I've never seen so many signs in the crowd before. That was wild.
Yes, it was a big thing in the Attitude Era. Signs aplenty.
But this was like you couldn't even see people. It was just signs. You couldn't even see people in the crowd. That was amazing.
Nonsense. Yes, but the London crowd is electric, which is the norm for these types of things. Yes,
they get one every millennia. They should be.
Exactly. They don't get much here. And I wanted to talk a little bit about our special guest this evening for the UK show.
Oh, Vinny Jones.
Vinny Jones is here. And your old K-Bones did some research.
Well, I had to as well because I had
Wow!
no fucking idea who this person was.
Just John did some research.
I had no idea who Vinnie Jones was. I'm like, why are they hyping this man up?
Absolutely.
So I had to look him up. And he kicks the soccer ball.
He kicks the soccer ball.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a footballer. He's a middle lineman. He's a middleman on the field. Okay.
That means he's on like the field.
In the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
He played for Wimbledon from 1992 to 1998. So he's currently in Wimbledon. Okay. During the time of this. Yeah. This is his second go-round in Wimbledon. As a matter of fact, he's returned to the Wimbledon sports team. Yeah. He's a player, but that's all that we can really say about him.
Apparently he was mostly known for like being the tough guy that fights everyone.
Yeah.
On the field.
Indeed. And he turned that into a promising acting career.
Hey, whatever you gotta do.
Yes, and you definitely would have seen him at some point in his life because he has had quite the fucking acting career.
Really?
Have you seen what he's in? Yes. He is most notable for being the Juggernaut in X-Men The Last Stand. He's the Juggernaut, bitch!
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's right. He's also been, He's been tied with wrestling a little bit more than we might think because he was also in The Condemned with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
Yes, sir. He was also in The Escape Plan with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. He's been in quite a lot of things.
And he also has an album.
He also has an album,
has an album.
Good heavens. Well, we're going to be seeing Vinnie Jones later on tonight. All right, but let's get into match number 1.
Numero uno.
Yes, it is Gangrel taking on Al Snow.
And the crowd is going fucking bonkers for Al Snow.
Absolutely. They're going bonkers for Al Snow.
They all have the mannequin heads. They're shaking him around.
Yeah, and the Brood's theme. Gangrel's theme, baby.
It's still one of the best
ever.
But it cannot compete with
blood
head.
spitting.
It can't compete with head, man. It just can't.
It cannot compete with head. On that we can agree. Yes, the blood spitting, the Brood theme, everything is great. Al Snow getting the place to erupt. We kick it off with some catches, can wrestling. It's interesting to see a vampire do some mat wrestling. That was my first thought.
Why is this undead zombie
putting
him in a headlock?
Yeah, like a headlock takeover, transitioning into the head scissors, shooting the half. It's very strange.
There was a moment in that first sequence as well where they're kind of running the ropes, and I think it's Gangrel that tries leaping over Al Snow.
Nah, it was Al Snow and trying to do the leapfrog over.
Yeah, and they ended up just headbutting
right into the peen.
Yes,
right into the peen, but they recover pretty well.
It wasn't that major of a botch.
Yeah,
just kind of found it funny.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yes, terribly hilarious. Somebody getting hit right in the dick. It's perfect. Peak comedy. Yeah. Al Snow with the headbutts, a flying crossbody, and near fall. The reverse whip reverses the Irish whip into a clothesline. Does Gangrel back and forth? Northern Light suplex by Al Snow. It's a near fall. Edge and Christian quickly come down to ringside. Okay?
And this is where I get a little like. The ending of this match peeves me a little bit.
Okay, take us through it. Take us through it.
Because so they do some more wrestling. Christian distracts the ref.
Yes.
And while the ref's distracted, Al Snow gets head, hits Gangrel over the head with it. And you would think that's the end of the match.
That should be it.
But Edge missile drop kick on Al Snow.
Yes.
And then Gangrel just kind of gets up and goes for the pin and just wins. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you just got hit with a foreign object, which in WWE universe is like a lethal. Yeah, it's a lethal blow.
Yeah.
And then, but the drop kick does it for Al Snow. So that ending I didn't enjoy that much.
This ending upset me only posthumously. Like, when we get further into the show and we see both Edge and Christian later, that's when this ending really started to piss me off. Yes, so we'll talk about it a bit more as we get on. We'll come back to this opening segment.
Okay.
Yes. So backstage with
I'm just glad that we're both annoyed at that ending.
We are. I was okay with it at first until later. Mankind is hyping up the Fatal 4-Way. He's in the boiler room. Yes,
and he's basically just explaining the rules of Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about how he doesn't want to have any friendships in this match because friendships have gotten him nowhere. Kane has, destroyed him with a lead pipe or something. Undertaker has hit him in the head with a shovel. Austin has betrayed him over and over again. Yeah, it's not a good time. It's every man for himself.
Yeah.
Match number 2. It is the Legion of Doom.
The fake Legion of Doom.
Oh, it's the Legion of Doom 2000, John. Do not disrespect.
With Animal and Draws.
Draws specific. And it's the Headbangers that they are taking on. This is during the storyline in which Hawk falls from the Titantron. Yeah, going through all that substance abuse problems, which are now just being brought to the forefront.
Classic WWE stuff,
Yes. Do you know how this feud concludes?
How it ends? No.
Okay. So you took a look at the footage of Hawk falling, right? And Draws
was supposed to helping him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And does it look like he pushed him to you from your vantage point?
Yeah. Yeah, like I have no idea about this feud because I was never the biggest Legion of Doom guy.
Yes.
So, but like the second they played the video package, I'm like, he pushed off.
Yes, well, you would be correct in that. Hawk does not die from his injuries.
Which is even more shocking than the push.
Yes, he does return to life, a spectacular recovery, and not only outs Draws as being the man that pushed him off of the Tron, but also the pusher man, both literally and figuratively. He was supplying the drugs.
This is a heavy-ass fucking storyline. God damn.
Yes, and Draws admits that, yes, he did supply the drugs. And yes, he did try to push him because he wanted his spot in the coveted Legion of Doom 2000.
I guess we know what we're reviewing next. God damn. That's such a heavy fucking...
There you go.
Oh, man.
There you go. So Draws with the hot start to kick things off. He's hitting some drop kicks, and quickly we get the "We Want Hawk" chants.
Yeah, almost immediately.
Almost immediately. I don't know why you'd want Hawk at this moment in time in 1998.
After falling from that height as well. And probably can't take on the Headbangers.
No, he's also been constantly talked about as being intoxicated, unable to compete. Why you'd want to drag this man out of the muck and mire here?
The UK people are sick folk.
Yes, indeed, and Draws is looking good at the beginning, but the fans just
he looks like $1 million. No, he looks great.
Yeah, but the fans are rejecting him. They are just booing him left, right, and center. I don't know if that's storyline or if they just hate Draws. But it's a quick hot tag to Animal. And not much to say here because there's a little bit of back and forth, but then Draws pushes Animal out of the ring. He wants to try and do a little switcheroo like they're twins.
Again, I almost like this. The way this pay-per-view starts almost made me want to turn it off because I was already upset over the first finish, and then this one was just so fucking dumb.
Yes.
Because Draws tried to do twin magic, even though they're completely different in appearance. And so he pushes Animal out of the ring.
Yes. The
Headbangers get the roll up. 1, 2, 3 wins.
That's it.
And also, why didn't the ref just restart and be like, hey, you're not Animal, and just restart? But again, apparently they look exactly alike, and the ref was like, oh, Animal, what are you doing here?
Identical.
That was so fucking weird.
Yes, and then Animal and Draws come to fisticuffs. They start brawling swinging a little bit. Yeah, and then just disperse. Yeah. That's it.
So far into the show, I almost called you. I was like, nah, let's review something else. This is some bullshit.
A video recap now of Austin attacking The Undertaker with a shovel as The Undertaker tried to get Kane into a body bag to put him into an ambulance to send him off to an insane asylum.
But it wasn't him in the ambulance.
No. The Undertaker gets put into the ambulance after getting nailed with the shovel, leaving Austin and Kane all alone with Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer then gets kidnapped and thrown into the aforementioned sewer.
So then we go to a young Michael Cole, who is interviewing Undertaker and Paul Bearer, and this is actually a pretty badass promo by Undertaker.
It's a very good promo.
This is very fun. He asked. There's one line where he's like, he asked Michael Cole if he's a religious man because he should pray for what he's about to do to Steve Austin. Right. And I was like, that's fucking badass.
And talks about how the reckoning is coming.
Yeah.
You know, how the people are going to be, the hounds of hell will be baying for the soul of Steve Austin. Yes, it was a great promo. Sadly, Paul Bearer doesn't get a chance to shine here. You know, he doesn't get to cut a promo.
But, you know, every now and then it's good to just see Undertaker be like, hey, this is why I'm fucking terrifying, guys.
Yes, it happens very rarely. Match number 3. Val Venus versus Goldust. A video recap assures us that Terry is pregnant.
If you guys thought the Legion of Doom storyline was weird, I was watching that video package like, what the fuck was going on in the 90s?
Well, let's talk about it, John, because Terry is pregnant.
Yes.
Terry was involved in a adult film that Val Venus does. So she was involved with Val Venus, and they had a little bit of a relationship.
But she was married with Goldust or something.
Yeah, or they've been separated, but yes. Then, of course, she announces that she's pregnant, and it seems like it's Val Venus's baby, but in fact, it is not. He leaves her. Yes, he leaves her right then and there and says, "I've had a vasectomy, so it is impossible for me to be pregnant, for you to be pregnant."
This storyline is wild.
Yes, Terry dresses up as Marlena in order to try and get back with Goldust, but Goldust says, "You better forget the name of Goldust." Yep. Marlena has a hissy fit, turns back into Terry with a very hot, smoking hot outfit with bosoms aplenty on display.
Yeah, someone needed to check on Jerry Lawler, because throughout the show
he's having some palpitations.
Yeah.
Jackie and Terry did a bit of an attack on Mark Miro, and I believe it was Val Venus as well, or it might have been Goldust. Either one, doesn't matter. But yes, that was the beginnings of PMS, the Pretty Mean Sisters. Yes, indeed. Can we talk about the goddamn music for a second? Because still is banger after banger after banger. Val Venus's music. Goldust.
I honestly don't remember his. I'm not sure if I hadn't heard it in a long time, but I don't remember his music being that great.
Oh, it's amazing.
He was coming out with the towel and everything. I'm like, how?
It's so sexy.
Oh my god,
so sexy.
Great. And then Goldust then coming out and being weird as fuck with the wig and all that shit.
And it just all is so perfect.
Amazing time.
It's so perfect. Give me your favorite theme song of all time.
Holy shit. My favorite theme song of all time. Brett hit my heart. I love that fucking thing. Yeah, even fucking when Natalia, and I hate Natalia, but when she comes out, I'm like, they're doing the thing.
Very nice.
I'm not sure if that makes me just super Canadian or something, but
I love it. I respect it.
I love that one, and I get a lot of shit for this one. People hate me for this one, but Undertaker's American Badass.
Oh my lord!
Keep rolling. I love that fucking theme song.
For shame.
Listen, I can talk about Biker Taker all fucking day. I love Biker Taker.
All right, to the match.
Yes.
Val Venus with the quick attack.
Wait, whoa, buddy. What's yours? Don't just make me expose myself for being a biker taker lover.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, my favorite song is I think Pourquoi Maurice.
What?
Yeah. These are the unsung heroes of music. Got Eve Torres's theme,
Oh my god,
which is also pretty decent. You've got some good. The Islanders. The Islanders had a pretty hot take. There was a mashup of Booker T and RVD's theme that you can hear at WrestleMania 20. That was pretty good. It was like, "Can you dig it?"
It's fine. We don't need to hear you. All right, so Val Venus.
It's Chris Jericho's theme. Chris Jericho's theme, 1000%.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Val Venus with the quick attack.
Booker T and RVD. Oh, I got hot as fuck.
Wonderful. Yes, it's not very effective. Goldust sends Val Venus out and attacking on the steel steps, puts his face first. Back into the ring with a slam and a slap. All right, Goldust is in total control here. An interesting springboard back suplex, bounces his legs
really
off the ropes.
Good.
Does back it's very nice. Tries for a monkey flip, but gets tossed off, and Val Venus is not able to take full control just yet because Goldust pops right back in with Bulldog.
Yep.
But it is a near fall. He tries for another running attack, but gets a spine buster for his troubles. A fisherman suplex and a near fall, an atomic drop. Both men collide, and Goldust lands right on Val Venus's moneymaker. On the dick. If I can be so bold.
And I always thought that move was so fucking weird. Because even in the 80s, I forgot who it was. There was some guy that did the headbutt to the dick, and I'm like, what sick fuck?
Odd choices.
Your legs are right there. You don't have to fully just go down on another dude.
Jerry Lawler says, right on the big Valvoski.
Oh yeah, they kept calling him the Big Valvoski the whole fucking show.
Yeah. Goes for the Shattered Dreams, but Errol Hebner gets pulled into the way. So no dreams for the Dust. Val Venus with a roll up and a win.
But then after the bell, Goldust beats him up and still hits the Shattered Dreams.
Gets the Shattered Dreams. Huge pop from the crowd. It's fantastic.
So for those of you keeping score at home, that's 3 fucked up finishes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, these matches are just ending quite abruptly and or incorrectly.
Yeah.
Yes, Vince McMahon speaks at Oxford University. He is introduced as the evil chairman of the board.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it was apparently a lovely time. And then on the stage comes Vince, Shane, Patterson, and Briscoe. Yes, they all come out to cut a bit of a promo. Vince McMahon runs to the back to grab a cup of tea.
They basically were announcing that they changed The Rock's match.
Yes,
he's not going to be fighting Triple H. He's going to be fighting X-Pac instead, and Triple H will be taking on Double J.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Pat Patterson says, "Da Rock, Da Rock." And of course, Briscoe saying Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
And I think even at one point, who was it? I think it was Jim Ross that was like, "It's Triple H."
Triple H. Also, Briscoe with a very nice thing says, "There's going to be some surprisements." Some surprisements, he says. Oh, it's wonderful. Shane McMahon talks Vinnie Jones.
And this Shane, because again, I'm not the biggest 90s pop culture guy, because, I was 3.
Yeah.
So he's talking about, some George Michael's guy.
George Michael, yeah.
And basically saying that, something about George Michael coming out as gay.
Yes.
And then insinuating that Vinnie Jones, the guest today, was George Michael's secret lover. And I'm like, what the fuck was the 90s, man? What was going on?
Well, George Michael, it's interesting. George Michael at this moment, he's the guy from Wham. Wake Me Up Before You Go. Careless,
Okay.
Careless Whisper.
Yeah.
He's that guy. Yeah, that's right. So he's with the lead singer there, and he moved out on his own. And during this time period, George Michael was not outed as gay, but he was very much like dancing with the idea with the press. Everybody was trying to hunt it down. Like, is he gay or not?
And Shane broke it.
No.
Just making sure.
But there was an interview in which he was getting quite heavily angry about people constantly attacking him for it and trying to figure it out. There was also a point where he was actually arrested in a public bathroom for lewdness because he had come on sexually to an undercover police officer.
Oh, I thought that was gonna go.
No.
Left. I'm like, am I gonna have to edit this part out?
No. Yeah, so George Michael was very heavily in the news during this time period.
Okay.
Yeah, so they decided to have some fun with that, apparently.
Jeez. Wait, so hitting on a cop is illegal?
Well, it was public lewdness because the officer claimed that George Michael had exposed himself to the officer. Because this bathroom was a notorious gay hookup spot, as many park bathrooms are. More than you would think, unfortunately.
So George Michael was in his element, and he thought he could be safe.
Yes, and there was a very attractive man who was specifically sent in there as an undercover cop to try and expose some penises.
The 90s. I feel all right. Okay.
Back to the show.
So after all that stuff happened to poor George Michaels, Shane is like, hey, I know who your boyfriend is. It's Vinnie Jones.
Passes the mic to young Vince McMahon here that cuts a promo on the English crowd. You English!
He's like, let me tell you something about tea time. It's a load of crap.
Throws his teacup. The asshole chants are non-stop. Relentless. He signs us off by saying that England is going to transform in the future full of decay, debauchery, and run by a prime minister of Pakistani extraction.
Listen, man. Whatever you gotta do to get heat, I guess. God damn.
And we are just gonna pile heat on top of heat because next up is Tiger Ali Singh.
After all that, after you piss the crowd off intensely, then you're like, all right, here's Tiger Ali fucking Singh.
Tiger Ali Singh. Jerry Lawler asks, is he Pakistani?
Early Jerry Lawler is a fucking gem. Yeah. He's amazing.
Absolute savage. Yes, it's Tiger Ali Singh.
And also during all the times where because this for some reason was an insanely political show.
Yeah, very, very much.
And every time that they would go too far and then Lawler would just double down on it, you could just hear the silence from Jim Ross. It's like, I'm just not getting...
No, not getting involved in that.
Because when he's like, is he Pakistani? You could just hear Jim Ross be like, nope. No, sir. Not getting into that one.
Indeed. Tiger Ali Singh taking on Edge here. Yes, Edge coming out through the crowd. You think you know me?
Yeah. But before that, Ali... because again, this was just a very political show.
Of course,
he cuts a promo, and he says that he's doing this for his forefathers, that suffered under British rule. Because again, this show is just the fucking G20 summit or some shit. This is the every chance they get, they bring up politics. So yeah, he does that promo. Then it's I think you know.
Then it's Edge.
I think you know me.
Yes, you are lost. You are scared. Cheap shot early on gets missed, and Edge is taking control. Backdrop, and Ali has to slide out off of the Irish whip. Edge gets him back in and puts Ali into the post. He crotches him right there. Tiger Ali Singh begging off, but it's to no avail. He gets an atomic drop. Here we go. Edge heads up to the top rope. Goes for a flying crossbody, but it gets reversed into the power slam. Tiger Ali Singh with the feet on the ropes and steals a victory.
This pay-per-view so far has been fucking madness. What the fuck?
Abysmal.
Like Edge literally, like, we didn't like speed through this review either.
No.
Nothing happened because Edge was dominating the entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then Ali wins on a roll-up.
And this match was only 2 minutes and like 40 seconds. This match went no time at all.
This is like, it's almost to the point where it's like, why even do it? Why even do it?
Gotta fill the runtime, man.
But Edge beats him up, so the babyface still comes up on top. And he's like, hey, America.
Yes, fuck yeah. Michael Cole hits the ring, and it's time to interview Vinny
Jones.
Yeah. He's asked, what do you think of Vince and Shane McMahon earlier on tonight? And Vinny says, I'm going to punch him out. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to find him after this, and I'm going to knock him out. Right? What are you going to do if Boss Man gets in your face, or any of the WWF superstars? We're British. We're going to beat him up and send him back to America. We British, we'll fight anyone. We get right in the face and give him a kick in. Right? And to end us off, Michael Cole, I think, whispered this into his ear, because he said, he whispers into his ear and then asks him one more question. And Vinny just goes, it's going to be emotional!
Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, it's a celebrity, so you gotta cut him some slack, but I don't think he knows what the fuck the main event is.
I don't think he does either.
Yeah.
He's got no idea. He's given no stakes, no idea who's going to win.
I'm pretty sure he thought he was in the main event.
I think so.
Like,
he was certainly cutting the promo.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch him out. We're the British. We're going to fight for you, you Americans want to come here.
Because the whole time he was doing that, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, no one's fighting you. What the hell?
It's America versus the Brits.
Oh my God. In a fatal 4-way with all Americans. Oh, shit.
Match number 5 is Mark Marrow and Jacqueline taking on Sable and Christian, and it is here where I ask, are the Brood fucking heels or not? What the hell? Gangrel was very clearly a heel.
But Edge was a babyface.
They had the heelish tactics to win.
But Edge was a babyface.
Edge was a babyface, and now Christian is with the ultimate babyface in Sable.
Listen.
Are they heels or not?
They're the Brood, man.
Secondly, Mark Miro is supposed to be gone.
Yeah.
There's a recap video.
They even played the recap where they're like, he's supposed to be retired, but fuck it. He's here still.
He has a contractual obligation, is what they say.
Because literally his storyline with Jacqueline is over.
Yes.
Like, they finished it.
Yeah.
And then they had to, like, come back for this. And I'm just like, okay.
So confusing. Confusing. So Jackie comes out and immediately attacks Mark Miro.
Yeah, they start brawling.
Yeah. Then Sable coming out, and here comes Christian. The match begins, and I don't have a lot of notes for this match because I was more kind of mesmerized by the bullshit that was happening early on.
So, because Mero and Christian start off the match.
Yes.
But Mero being, the heel, he runs straight towards Jacqueline and tags out.
Yes.
So Christian had to go, and then he had to fucking go tag out because those are the rules.
That's the rules.
Like JR said.
Face the women. The men face the
men. Pay attention to that rule, folks. But yeah, Christian tags Sable. Sable comes in, and then Jacqueline's like, I don't want none of that. And
Yeah.
then she tags out Mero, and they do that whole, like...
They do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mero gets his trunks pulled down by Christian.
Yep.
And so he's in his red undies.
He goes like, hey, you rascal. He turns around, falls down.
Yeah.
And
Sable
then
starts kicking him in the ribs.
Yeah, in front of the ref. The ref is seeing this.
Seeing all of it.
You know, and to bring it back, the men
are supposed to fight the men.
And the ladies
are only supposed to feel up the ladies.
Unless you're Sable, and then you can just kick the fuck out of Mero.
Yeah, because that's your husband. Yeah, I mean, Sable is hitting him with a kick at one point, but inverted DDT by Christian, I believe, to Mark Muru. Sable bomb on Mark Mero as well. Okay, finally, Jackie gets brought in, and Mark Mero walking out of the match here, leaving Sable and Jackie here to have their little scruff and roll around on the cold canvas.
Yep.
Getting the nips all nice and hard. Yeah. And then TKO. TKO by Sable to Jackie to win.
Yes, and then after the match,
this is where shit goes wild.
This is where it goes so far up to the show it's been left.
Yeah.
This is where it takes a complete fucking detour.
This is like shocking. This is unreal what we see here.
Because after the match, Jacqueline starts beating up the ref.
Yeah.
She's like, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Starts just left and right. She somehow ends up on the ref's shoulders.
Yes.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Because she's beating him up.
Yeah.
And somehow she's just on his shoulders. And then he's like, oh no, you're on my shoulders. I guess I should get up.
Yeah.
And then he gets up with Jacqueline on his shoulders. And Sable rips Jacqueline's top off.
Yeah.
And then for like the first time in the night, Lawler was quiet.
Yeah. Because Jacqueline had no bra on. Nothing. Jacqueline was exposed
to the crowd.
Full, didn't cover her tit, nothing. She had like her arms splayed out, like her tits are on full display for a good 3 seconds. Like turned from one side to the other.
Yeah, they panned out. Yeah. Yep.
And then she does a roll through to get out of the ring.
She does a hurricanrana on the ref and fucking leaves.
I was stunned, and I was like Jerry, because Jerry like full on saw some boobs.
Yeah. After years of talking about boobs, he gets them.
Like he gets full boob, and I don't know if that was supposed to happen. Like if she was supposed to have a bra and that came off as well.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the bra.
Yeah.
Or if she had, like, you know, the nipple pasties.
Especially since it was like a UK only show. I'm like, would they really do this just for a UK show, right?
Well, the thing about the UK is that the UK is a lot more, like, explicit in their, like, entertainment. Like, they are full nudity on some shows.
Yeah.
And in the newspaper for a long time, page 3 was just a nude woman. But even still, for the WWF to do that was like, what on earth?
And even like Jacqueline, like I don't think she doesn't look like the person that would agree to that.
I would hope not.
So I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if she had like the little like cover up things, or if the spot was supposed to be maybe there was some miscommunication or something. But that was wild.
Yes.
Pretty sure Lawler had a heart attack.
Yeah, seriously. He could not recover for a bit.
He did not talk for a good 10 minutes. He was stunned.
On to the next match.
Yeah.
And
so far, we have not had a clean fucking pin.
Not at all.
There's been some bullshit after some bullshit.
Yeah, every match has had a screwy finish of some sort. In the spirit of sharing the load. The IC championship match.
I hate when you say that word.
Just John.
I hate when you say that word.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I leave it to you, my boy.
So it's the Intercontinental Championship.
Gonna put on my world title as I sit back and relax.
So Intercontinental Championship title match.
Yes.
The champ Ken Shamrock with Big Boss Man versus Steve Blackman.
Yes.
And it starts off, they're showing, they're like the two legit badass guys. So they're showing each other like their strength,
Indeed.
Hitting each other with lefts and rights and knees and all types of things.
Certainly.
Ken, after a while, he starts taking control, hitting Steve with elbows and clotheslines. Yes. Blackman goes for inside cradle, but Ken kicks out and nails him with a nasty big boot.
Yes. I also want to say here at this point, because it started to appear from this point onward, the crowd chanting, "You fat bastard." At various times, and this was directed to the Boss Man. Aww. And it was the most furious of all the chants throughout the night. He was like, "You fat bastard, you fat bastard, you fat bastard, you fat bastard," which was lovely.
Oh my gosh. The UK crowds are always fucking amazing. That's so why I can't wait for the new.
And the air horns, like, Shamrock.
It was like you were watching a soccer game. They were so like everyone was so into it.
Fucking hyped.
Because anywhere else, this amount of screwy finishes and bullshit, the crowd would have been out of there.
Oh yeah, they would have been turning on the show.
They were just amazing throughout the thing. So yeah, back to the match. Blackman then tries to get some momentum. He's hitting Ken with some strong shots, but Ken hits him with like a side kick and puts him in a sleeper hold.
Yes.
And that sleeper hold is on for a bit.
Yeah. This is the thing with Ken Shamrock that I just don't understand. He's amazingly athletic. He must have the cardio for days, but feels the need to rest hold if he's given anything more than like a 3-minute match.
I'm not sure because Ken comes from that MMA background thing, so I'm not sure if it's like this is how he thinks wrestling's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, I have to have a rest hold.
Yeah.
But like you said, he's one of the most athletic people in the fucking WWF at that moment.
Serious?
So it's like you can go for more than like this match is like 10 minutes. You don't need a rest hold.
He should be a guy that has wrestling matches in the realms of what probably like Brock Lesnar is doing today. Yeah.
Or even if you're gonna go for a sleeper hold, do like a Kurt Angle style where it's like a painful submission where it's like it's still a sleeper hold, but
Shamrock knows these holds.
Yeah. It's like, why are you going for like a headlock or like an arm bar when you're like a legit submission specialist? Yeah. Just put him in a fucking submission and do that instead of whatever the fuck this is.
Very confusing.
But Blackman fights out of it and hits Ken with a spine buster. Then he goes for the pin, but Ken kicks out. He then throws Ken out of the ring and does a baseball slide to Big Boss Man
for no reason.
For no reason at all. Because even like the whole time, Lawler's like, because Jerry and Jim Ross are going back and forth.
Yes.
They're like, why is Boss Man here? And Lawler's like, hey, he's not doing anything. He's just standing there.
Yeah.
And I was agreeing with him. I'm like, yeah, he's just fucking standing there. Like, he's not bothering anyone.
Literally does nothing.
And then Blackman's like, hey, what would make this better? Let me antagonize him.
So if I kick you right square in the fucking mush.
So yeah, he fucking baseball slide kicks Big Boss Man.
Yes.
Which of course pisses off Big Boss Man.
Yes.
He then grabs a lead pipe.
No, he produces a baton. Like a full-on police rioter's baton.
Was it? I thought it was a lead pipe.
No, it's a full-on police rioter's baton. And I have to wonder why he did not have that all the time. Like, I know he has the nightstick.
Yeah, the nightstick.
But I have seen a baton in person. Mm-hmm. It is the most terrifying and hardest fucking weapon of all time. Like, a security guard hit me with it once. Like, we were playing around. It was an overnight shift. Yeah. But he, like, takes it out, he whips it, it makes the most ungodly, frightening sound, and then he hits you with it, and it's like your bones just snap.
Oh, shit.
I was fucking terrified as soon as he produced the stick.
So Bossman gets the nightmare stick, basically.
Yes!
And when Blackman tries to run the ropes, he just fucking whacks his ankle with it.
Yeah.
Then
Imagine getting hit in the ankle. The ankle is so tender. Imagine.
And then right after that, to add, insult to injury, Ken Shamrock puts him in an ankle lock, tap out right away.
You got it.
And not even our first clean finish, because that even had a
wasn't
fucking
even
god
clean.
damn. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get to a clean finish, hopefully.
Are we?
Hopefully.
You think so?
Jeez.
Promo backstage by The Rock. Yes, we are hyping up his match with X-Pac.
Yeah, and he made... I love The Rock promos because he's eating an apple and then he goes to Michael Cole. He's like, "Here, hold The Rock's apple." He just gives Michael Cole the apple.
It's like, hold The Rock's apple.
I don't know why that made me fucking laugh so much. I'm not sure if it was because I was so annoyed at this whole pay-per-view, but that fucking cracked me up.
Nice. The Rock is also going through a phase where he's doing all of the fake out catchphrases, like all of the knockouts.
Oh yeah.
He's going through like the "what you gonna do" and the "ooh yes" and the "best there is" and yada 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 before he actually gets to "if you smell what the Rock is cooking."
Cooking.
On to the next match: Jeff Jarrett versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
So it's Double J with Deborah and Triple H with the ninth wonder of the world, China.
Triple H is just recently coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
An interesting note here that this is the second time that they have done a switcheroo of doing The Rock and Triple H. Because at Survivor Series, there was an injury, but they just keep on holding off on this match. I find that very interesting, and I don't know why.
And even in the Brock's sitcom, Young Rock, he talked about Triple H and like that very like was like my all-time rival, and I'm like, Stone Cold's in that same room. What the fuck are you talking about?
Seriously.
So I'm not sure if there was like some, backstage that kind of like,
Maybe.
I don't want to say like they were enemies, but it was like a friendly competition type of thing. Maybe. Because like, again, if you watch Young Rock, which you shouldn't, because it's not. You shouldn't. They play off. They've had like a blood feud, and I'm like, I don't remember you guys having even that many matches, to be honest. Like,
I mean, in the year 2000, they had their fair share, but I wouldn't go as far as to say like top rival.
Yeah, when I think Rock, I don't think Triple H, but apparently there's something there that
they had a long history.
Yeah.
They fought at this past SummerSlam. They've had a little mini feud over the IC belt. They would go on to have a feud over the WWF, but at the same time, Stone Cold is there.
It's very cool. I would want one day, whenever whichever one of them gets the chance, to see if they can kind of expound on that. Because sounds like there's some interesting stories behind that.
Yeah. Yes. So, God, the show is dragging me down.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's 2 hours and 40 fucking minutes.
Yes.
Of false finishes. And
it's just nonsense. So the first note that I have here is Triple H with Spine Buster. Okay.
Oh, I had Jeff Jarrett with a headlock.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well, that's good.
this one.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get to the damn meat and potatoes of this match.
Listen, if you've ever seen a Jeff Jarrett match, or if you've ever seen a Triple H match, it's that.
Yeah, it's a very formulaic affair.
Yeah.
It doesn't get to go over 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I love Double J, so it is what it is.
Yes, a back elbow that sends Triple H to the outside. Back in goes for the cross body, but a roll through. Triple H gets a near fall out of that one. Triple H is on there on the ropes, and here comes Miss Deborah, who is choking young Hunter Hearst. Tries for it a second time, and China says, "That's enough, girlfriend. and makes her way ever so somberly over to Deborah.
Because that's the thing. She didn't even break it up.
No.
She just walked to that side of the ring.
And Deborah goes scurrying away like a coward. A sleeper applied by young J-Doubles. But it turns quickly into the back suplex. A 10-punch spot by Triple H follows us up. Then there's some kerfuffle and some commotion, and Deborah is getting involved.
Yeah.
Deborah gets into the ring and tries to look sexy
for Triple H.
Yeah. But I write here, she looks a little bit more drunk than sexy. Like she looks like a tipsy woman.
Yeah.
That's like stumbling out of the bar and being like,
well, she's always looked like a tipsy woman, but this moment here, it was like, you're like, she's attractive-ish, but not enough that like a young Triple H would be like, whoa.
No. Yeah, she doesn't really look sexy here, but it is giving enough time for Double J to get a chair. Tries to go for a swing, but Chyna stops it. And as Jeff Jarrett turns around, he turns right into the pedigree. It is 1, 2, 3.
And then, Deborah just yells at Jeff Jarrett a little bit more. And we still have not had a clean finish.
Not a single one. Backstage with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He cuts a quick old promo, hyping up the Fatal 4-Way. And guess what? It is every man for himself.
And like all the other promos so far has kind of been like, you kind of see some character. This one, it was just Stone Cold being like, I don't care who's in it. I'm going to whip their ass.
Stone Cold being Stone Cold.
Love it.
Hey, video package. I think you've been looking forward to talking about this.
I've not been looking forward.
How have you not? It's D'Lo Brown going around London, England, talking about how he is, he's European, loving being European. Right? This is his country. This is his nation. This is his world. People on the street recognize D'Lo Brown. They want him to be European champion.
That man was a plant. There's no way. The more I think about it, there's no way you just know who D'Lo Brown is. Especially if you're in England. There's no fucking way. Get the fuck out of here.
You are doing a disservice to D'Lo Brown.
No.
He is former European champion.
No one with their wife and kids
he
visiting
represents
England.
Europe.
No.
He is an important piece of the puzzle.
Especially out of costume. He's just in regular people clothes. There's no way. No way.
Unreal.
He was like, oh, is that fucking D'Lo? He was, get the fuck out of here. That's a plant.
He called it the River Thames instead of the River Thames. A guy tried to come up to him and say it's the River Thames, and he says, fucking tourists, get out of here.
He kept insisting that he knew the queen.
Yeah.
And that she just forgot to give him a key. Fuck. D'Lo's a national treasure.
After that, we get ourselves the New Age Outlaws defending the tag team championships against D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. And in the interest of sharing the load...
Well, first of all, I still love the New Age Outlaws intro.
Oh, yeah?
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, and
love it.
It was the perfect place for it because London was right along there with them.
Oh, yeah, no, they were... at the beginning, they were kind of off, but then they kind of like synced up. And I was like, oh, you guys got it. You guys got it.
They get there.
It took them a minute.
They're a bit slow to start, but they're good to finish. Those English.
Those English.
Those damn English.
So, yeah, D'Lo starts off with Jesse James. James starts off quick, making D'Lo have to go outside and regroup. A lot of regrouping in the show. We haven't talked about him in the other matches, but when I got to this point, I kind of realized, I'm like, a lot of fucking regrouping.
Yes.
But but James tags out Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn then does like a really fucking dope gorilla press on D'Lo. For some reason, I always forget how fucking strong Billy Gunn is, and how just pause for anyone that does how big Billy Gunn is. He's a tall, tough fucking dude.
He is.
But I don't know. I think because his name is Mr. Ass, people forget how badass he is. And then D'Lo goes out again to regroup with Mark Henry, and Mark Henry has to be like convince him and be like, "Come on, we just gotta get our head in the game and get back in there."
Work it out.
Yeah, Mark Henry gets in there with Billy Gunn, and they do a test of strength with each other.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn tries to attack Mark Henry though, like they don't actually do a test of strength.
Right.
But who is it? Henry puts him in a bear hug.
Slap it on that bear hug.
The dumbest submission in the history of submission moves. But of course they do the whole. Is he dead?
Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna get out of it?
Is he dead? And of course,
the arm drop.
Of course he gets up.
We're 3 minutes in.
Like, there's no reason to be doing wrestles in a 3-minute match.
Especially a hope spot like that. Like, it's just like the arm count spot. Weird time.
But he fights out, and him and James hit Henry with a double team, a double drop kick, and they hit D'Lo with another fucking drop kick, and they again go to re-fucking group. I'm like, this is not a fast-paced match for you guys to be taking these much fucking breaks.
There is a malfunction at the junction, and they have to come back and regroup themselves.
But this is like their third time. Like, whatever you guys are doing in the regroup session is not working. Like, Jesus. Henry and D'Lo are finally starting to get some momentum. They're beating up Jesse James a little bit. Billy Gunn then comes in, and he's taking on both Henry and D'Lo, because I think
hot tag.
But I think James got, like, I'm not sure if he's just great at selling, but he looked like he actually got hurt, because he was selling like his rib area, like really. And for like the remainder of the match, Billy Gunn kind of just takes over the whole thing.
Yes.
But Billy Gunn hits D'Lo with a power driver for the win, and ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We're almost
hour and 48 minutes in.
We got our first clean pinfall.
My thing was that it took, like, it was just out of nowhere. Like, I think Henry broke up a pin, and then Billy Gunn just gets up, lands a power driver, pin. That's it.
But that's
done.
Because I think Jesse James was legit hurt, because he did not come back into the match, and after the match, he looked really fucking hurt. So I'm like, you're either selling this like fucking crazy, or you legitimately got hurt, and they had to like be like, just hit me, just hit the power driver. Let's just go home.
Go home. Ah, yes, it is the semi-main event. It is the WWF champion, The Rock, taking on challenger X-Pac for the WWF championship. That's what we're on to. We've had ourselves a clean finish.
Yep.
Yeah. We've had ourselves a pretty shit show up until this point.
Very much so.
And I will have to say, I believe that this is the breath of fresh air that we need.
Fucking love this match.
Yes, it started off with quite the hot pace. Yes, we have the crisscross, a leapfrog, and a clothesline as Xbox seems to take a little bit of control here. A spin kick, a multitude of spin kicks, as a matter of fact, by The Rock.
Yep.
Yes, and he has to powder out, Yes, as I actually write down here, there's a breath of fresh air that this match is a quick pace.
I think The Rock gets on the mic after, and he says, "You know what? I'm done with this shit. I'm leaving.
Yes.
None of you people deserve me."
No, not at all.
But then as he goes up the ramp, Triple H and China are waiting for him.
Yep, they send his ass right back to the ring. X-Pac tries to go for a Bronco Buster, but indeed misses, and The Rock takes control. A neck breaker by The Rock. The Rock takes him to the outside, tries to do a spit with JR's beverage, which was very clearly a beer.
And also very empty, too.
Yeah. But he gets a punch in the face. The Rock does a spit take, which was very hysterical. But The Rock hits a thumb in the eye.
Yep.
Right? And sends him right back into the ring. Follows it up with a low blow while the referee is distracted with Triple H. The corporate elbow, not the people's elbow. It's the corporate elbow. Turncoat.
He doesn't even throw his armband.
No,
he just places it.
Throws it right down onto X-Pac. Hits the elbow, but there's a kick out. A kick out.
But he puts Pac right away into a sleeper. Like the second he kicks out, he puts him into a sleeper hold. I just thought that little detail was pretty cool. I was like, that's dope.
Good stuff. X-Pac tries to fight back, but it gets turned into a rock bottom attempt. But then China hits the low blow. Ah, yes. And then there's a roll up and a near fall.
That was such a good near fall.
So close. Very good.
Because the crowd was like into it. Like they were like, oh shit.
This could be it. This could be it. The crowd is getting into it. X-Pac delivers a spin kick and begins to fight back. But then there is a ref bump. Oh, yes. The Rock grabs his World Wrestling Federation title, while Triple H grabs the European Championship as held by X-Pac. And then The Rock goes for X-Pac but misses, and then Triple H is right there and nails The Rock with the belt. The crowd is electric. They think that this is it as Pac crawls ever so slowly, gets the shoulder up. At a 2, The Rock hangs in
like
there.
The crowd is going crazy for this. Like they're biting on all these near falls.
Oh yes. And then Pac finally managing to hit the Bronco Buster on The Rock.
Move.
Yes, and The Rock thinks so also because he rolls out pretty much instantly. Sees China, gives her a little shove, and that's enough to send Triple H into a frenzy. Attacking The Rock on the outside. It is a DQ finish, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel?
So this is one of the best matches on the fucking card. You have the crowd right where you want them. And then you do this. It's like, come on, man.
Yes. A big post-match brawl ensues. A lot of fighting, a lot of things happening. The corporation come down to try to make the save. They get The Rock out of there. Yeah. Disappointing finish, but a fantastic match.
Yeah, great match, but the finish was dog shit.
It was indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our main event. It is the Fatal 4-Way. It's been hyped up all night. The first ever on Sky Box Office. If that means anything to you. The special guest ring announcer.
Oh, yeah.
Shane.
Yeah. So they announced that Shane's the special guest ring announcer.
Yes.
Pat
Patterson.
Yeah, he says there's still some more surprises.
More surprisements.
Yeah. Pat Patterson apparently is a special guest timekeeper.
Indeed. Gerald Briscoe, co-owner of the Briscoe Brothers Body Shop.
He's a special guest referee.
Yes. And Vince McMahon,
the special guest commentator. That is, and Big Boss Man.
Yes.
The special enforcer.
Indeed.
So basically the whole corporation is going to be at ringside.
Yes, the suits give a group hug as soon as they come in together to group hug. They're so lame, and I love it.
I love it because in this occasion, you're supposed to pretend like you guys aren't in cahoots, but when you all just embrace it, like, we did it, we pulled it. It's like, come on.
Here comes Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones gets right into the Boss Man's face and pushes him. And Boss Man takes a tumble to the outside. Great sale by the Boss Man. He's furious. And Briscoe pulls out the red card. Yes, Vinny has been red carded a la Alessandro Del Bruno. Oh, yes. Vinny is being sent to the back. That is it. Kane and Mankind are out first.
And also, sorry, for a guy that's like the badass brick guy.
Mm-hmm.
When the security came, I thought there was gonna be a brawl. They were like, he was just like, no, just this way, this way, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is what it is. What you got to do. Kane and Mankind enter first, and they fight before the match even begins.
But then they ring the bell as they're fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which was fucking weird.
Makes no sense.
And then, like a couple minutes later, Undertaker comes out.
Yes.
And then the brawl continues for like a good minute, and then Austin comes out. I'm like, what type of fucking pacing is? What the hell?
It's weird, but I do kind of like it. I like the idea that these guys that are so heated in this 4-way feud, yeah, they'll just fight right away. They want to get their hands on each other right away. Bells be damned. I like that idea. It does need some tune-up, though. You're right.
You know what it is? It's that we're so accustomed to the normal way, that just seeing it like that, it kind of threw me off. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
The fuck is happening?
Especially because it's the Undertaker that comes out. So they fight in darkness.
Yeah.
For a couple. Maybe if Undertaker came out first, then Kane, then they're brawling them.
Yeah, because Undertaker's making his entrance. Yeah. So Kane and
slowly.
Yeah. So he's slowly walking down. Everything's dark. And Kane and Mankind are just wailing at each other in complete darkness.
Very funny. But yes, all 4 men are in the ring. But I have to make a point of Taker's entrance. My God. Taker looks so cool.
He does.
He looks so cool. Yes, all 4 men into the ring. But the brawl ensues. Kane and Taker. Here comes Austin. Excuse me. All men are in the ring at this point. I'm going to jump ahead. My God. Austin and the Undertaker meet at the ramp.
Yeah.
A brawl around ringside. It is complete and utter chaos. Austin and the Undertaker take the ring, while Kane and Mankind stay on the outside with their brawling and shenanigans.
And with this match, I'm not sure what your thoughts are about this, but WWE to me do a really good job at making sure that even if it's 1,000 people in the ring, you don't miss the important parts.
Yes.
This one, not so. There was some times where stuff would happen. I'll be like, wait, what the fuck?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
But usually WWE is the best at making sure it doesn't matter how many people are in the ring. Whatever is important, you're gonna see it.
Yeah. Because I don't think there were a lot of spots to say now there's spot here, spot there. This is important, and it's also all scripted now. So it's okay, we know that this is going to happen at this point, so let's get a camera. While this match here is more just punch, kick, punches. I'm over here now,
and the fact
Paul Bear's got to shoot,
and the fact that it was giving off house show vibes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that played a part where the camera crew was a little bit more
and it was like that for the whole show. This whole show is a glorified house show.
Because even the audio on the WWE network was not the best.
There was one point in this match where Undertaker goes for a flying clothesline, and then Vince McMahon is like, "Yeah, boy!" And the audio on it was so fucking intense. It was holy shit!
At some points, only the left side would. Yeah. So I'm God damn. They did not give a I was they recorded this shit just for the fuck of it. They did not want to do this. I was damn.
Exactly. Paul Bear with the shoe, and then guess what we get? We get the chance of, "You fat bastard! You fat bastard! You fat bastard!"
They do a spot. I'm not sure if I'm jumping ahead of you or anything, but they do a spot.
Yes.
Where I think it's Mankind who's choking Kane. No, Steve Austin is choking Kane. And then Undertaker starts choking Steve Austin. Yeah. And then Mankind starts choking with the camera cables.
Yes.
So that spot made me fucking laugh.
Fantastic.
Yeah, moment. That was a great spot. Especially so for some reason the intensity of the blood feud, everyone hating themselves so much, and then having that funny ass spot in the middle just made it so fucking funny. Yeah.
And the crowd gets louder too. They're
oh.
This is great stuff. Mankind gets a microphone and starts hitting Taker and Kane.
Mhm.
Both Jerry Lawler and Vince McMahon are begging him to attack Austin. Doesn't happen. Then all four men are in the ring, and Jerry Lawler is like, "You cannot say that you want Austin to win. You can't say it." And then JR goes nuts. He's like, "I do want Austin to win. I want Austin to win. All right? Does that make you happy? Do I need to kiss your ass anymore, McMahon?"
And then like after he does that,
Yeah.
there's a whole brawl going on.
Yeah.
But there's like a minute of silence. And Vince is just like, "Oh, watch it over there, pal." I'm just like, what the fuck? Because there's a whole blood feud going on, and after like he snaps like that, you just hear like a couple seconds of everyone just being like, "Oh fuck."
Oh man, good stuff. The Undertaker goes for old school, but Kane stops it.
Mhm.
Mankind and Austin work on Kane.
What was
for
it
just a
called back
moment.
then?
It was, I don't think it was called anything. I think it was just they would see it and they're like, "This is an amazing movie."
Yeah. When it happened, I was like, "Oh, the old school," but I'm like, "Wait,
yeah, it's not old school yet.
it wasn't old school yet.
Yeah.
He was in the prime of his life."
Yes, yeah, honestly. Yes, Mankind and Austin working over Kane. Then Mankind goes like, "Yeah, yes, oh," and tries to go for a handshake.
I love
And
Mankind.
Austin just immediately attacks, goes for the stunner, but it is blocked into the mandible claw. Broken up there shortly thereafter. The Undertaker then crotches Mankind, pulls him into the post there. Kane and the Undertaker unite to attack Steve Austin momentarily, and Mankind joins in. It's a 3-on-1 at one point, and Mankind is like, "You shouldn't have done that, Steve-O!"
Love.
And then, of course, a double clothesline to Mankind. It's every man for himself.
Yeah.
How could you not know? Going for the spike tombstone pile driver on the steel chair does Kane and the Undertaker, but Mankind gets the chair and hits Kane. But then the Undertaker gets down, grabs the steel chair, and murders Mankind in the face with a steel chair.
Listen, I don't know what was going on in the WWF at that time, but every time someone would pick up a chair against Mankind, they leaned everything they had into that shot.
A little bit of pepper.
Holy fuck. like I heard that shot and I was like, yeah, he should sue WWE. There's no way. God damn.
Yes. Taker then goes for the pinfall, but Austin breaks it up with his own steel chair. Austin then nails a stunner. But then Briscoe just will not make the count. He's been doing screwy counts all night.
No. Come on, man.
No.
He had to check the time.
Come on now.
To check the time.
Come on now.
That one wasn't his fault.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. Choke slam by The Undertaker to Austin and Kane. The Undertaker is dominating at the moment, but there is no referee. Earl Hebner comes in. Mankind and the Undertaker brawl to the ringside while Austin hits yet another stunner on Kane, and then finally it is a win.
But that ended like that last sequence was so fucking random because like he just hits Kane with the stunner, and then pins him, and then it was just like over, and I was just like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
I know. But yes, Austin is victorious. He starts to attack everybody around ringside. Here comes Vinnie Jones back.
Yeah.
With the Big Boss Man. Big Boss Man gets in, but Vinnie gives him a punch right to the gut. Just right in the guts. And then Boss Man takes a stunner.
And then
Earl
Briscoe.
Hebner.
Before that,
yes,
Briscoe takes one of the nastiest stunners.
Yes, that's true.
He was upside down for a second.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know how people don't talk about that stunner more often. Like, that looks so fucking painful.
It did. It looked horrible. Boss Man does attack Earl Hebner at the point. Before Vinny comes out, Vinny does make the assisted stunner happen, and then Earl Hebner with some boots just stomping the shit out of Boss Man. Beautiful stuff. The faces stand tall. Austin grabbing some beverages. to send the fans home happy.
And a total of 1 clean finish.
A total of 1 clean
And
finish.
that's all we can ask for.
That's all you can ask for in 2 hours 44. And that was Capital Carnage, John. That was our first foray across the pond into a UK pay-per-view.
Yep. We gotta do that more often. They're
we should.
the best fucking crowd.
No,
ever.
Absolutely. And now here we go. It is match of the night, standout star, and the overall star rating. Baby, what you got for me?
Overall rating 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Decent pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
No clean finishes.
Yes.
I hated that. Half of these even if they were all screwy finishes, if they made sense, I would have been like, okay.
Would have forgiven it.
But most of these were just fucking terrible. But the matches were great, so that's why I'm like, you know what? It's a 3.
Yes.
It's because some of these matches I would like to go back and watch, but yeah, the finishes were just a bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Match of the night. Again, even with a dumbass finish, The Rock X-Pac.
Gotcha.
That was an amazing fucking match.
Mm-hmm.
And then standout star, The Corporation.
Wow, you're giving a group corporation.
The Corporation as a group, they were
Alright.
amazing. The perfect heels.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Lawler on the commentary team, also just being.
True.
You know, I put him as part of that whole fucking group as well.
Yeah, certainly. He's a de facto member. Yes.
So the whole thing was fucking great. And then, you know, their whole performance in the main event, it was like, how do you not give it to them? Like, yeah, they were bad heels. To like the point it was like cringeworthy.
Certainly, yeah.
But it was fun.
Absolutely.
And I was like, you know what? You guys get it.
Yeah. And
give me more Briscoe.
This is the genesis of the corporation as a stable itself. We've had the McMahon and the Stooge Boys, but now everybody's coming together.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how they develop at rock bottom.
Yeah, because you also have to add The Rock and Ken Shamrock and the Big Boss Man. So just overall, they just did a fucking amazing job.
They're doing not too bad at all. Yeah. Very good. Okay. Awesome.
Let's hear it, bud.
Yes, match of the night for me is certainly X-Pac and The Rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Standout star, as I said, I did not have one going into this show. I really had to think about it because I was trying to figure out who would really stand out to me. Mm-hmm. After reviewing, I'm going to go with X-Pac.
That's fair.
Yes, I feel it's really quite impressive to get an entire crowd on the side of him as a credible champion, a possibility that he could have won the WWF title.
And the beauty of X-Pac is that he does this throughout his career, where even though he has no business being in the main event picture, the second he gets like a little momentum, people are like, oh shit, he can do it. He
always slots right in. So that was very impressive. And
when
of course,
you put him up against a big man, put him up against a big man, he just shines even brighter.
Totally.
The best cruiserweight. One of the best cruiserweights.
Oh, for sure. And he did a fantastic job. I also have to give a special honorable mention, though, however, to Jim Ross. We did not talk about it, but he actually suffered another attack of Bell's palsy during this show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I know. And you wouldn't have noticed either. He still managed to keep up a pretty good pace.
He was fucking great the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, he did a good job. So special mention to him because he's has the attack of Bell's palsy. His mother had just passed away at the Survivor Series show. So a lot of things had been taking place in Jim Ross's life.
Because even at the Survivor Series show, he was great. Both shows, he was very, very good. Like, because this was like, people are probably going to pick another year, but this was like a really good year for Jim Ross from what we've been reviewing.
Oh, certainly. And it only gets better.
Yeah.
But
so to hear that he also had an attack, that's wow.
Yeah, so he's had an attack here. Once he flies home back to Oklahoma, he is going to be off television, and we are not going to see him again until WrestleMania 15, the main event of WrestleMania 15. And who shall fill in his place? Michael Cole.
Michael Cole.
I love it. We're going to get early bird, young baby Michael Cole on
trying
commentary.
to contain Jerry the King Lawler
Yes.
in his prime.
Yes.
At his horniest.
Yeah. So, yeah, special mention to Jim Ross pulling through on this show.
And I like how all of our reviews, we went from Michael Cole being the interviewer to now we get the early.
He's going to be the guy.
Oh, boy.
He's going to be the play-by-play. The show rating itself, however, is a 2. I did not enjoy this show at all. At all.
Fair.
There were bits where I was thoroughly bored. The Brood confused me. And we had screwy finish after screwy finish. The only highlights are, as you said, the corporation and the Pac and Rock matchup. I would say aspects of the main event were cool, but the idea of the 4-way concept is not really fleshed out in this show because it is just punching, kicking, house show kind of brawling.
Yeah. And the fact that it was like, again, now we've kind of perfected the fatal 4-way, but back then it was kind of like, okay, Steve Austin fights Mankind, Undertaker, Kane, and then Kane,
crisscross.
Yeah. Then they just do a hot tag and be like, all right, now you go over here, I'll go over here, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the show overall itself was not very enjoyable, but it had its moments, and that's great.
It had potential to be a good show.
Certainly.
But then I guess because it was in England and WWE was treating it more of like a glorified house show. Yeah. They were like, let's not try.
It is what it is. But overall, that was Capital Carnage from the London Arena and the Capital Carnage in the London Arena.
Those were all words.
Yes. And next week we move right along to Rock Bottom. It is The Rock's very own pay-per-view, The Rock's specialty show, in which...
That's why you gotta love the corporation.
Oh yes. In which we will have a buried alive match. The Undertaker and Steve Austin, they've not been hitting themselves with shovels for nothing. It'll culminate. It's all clicking together. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Colossal Tussle podcast. Episode number 9 is in the books. And as always, you are able to follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm leaving that to just John, our resident electrician. Go for it.
Yes, follow us on Twitter at the Colossal Tussle 1. Follow us on YouTube at the Colossal Tussle as well. Again, we promise we're going to be a little bit more active on the Twitters.
Yes.
So just follow the Twitter. My personal one, I'm not even going to use it as much anymore. So follow us if you have any suggestions, anything you want to review, anything you want us to talk about.
Feedback.
The Colossal Tussle 1 on Twitter. And put your little comments on YouTube. We'll see them, and we'll get back at you as well.
Totally. And yes, Instagram, you're able to follow me on @DirectorKJ and at you
at Faraon36. That's FARAON 36.
Yes, and for me that is DIR.
No. Everyone knows how to spell director.
Jesus mercy. Thank you.
Take it away.
Much. Yes, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time for Rock Bottom episode 10 double digits, baby.
We did it.
Yes, and we are out.